Well, good afternoon, my YouTube friends. It's Margaret here from M.E.s Orchids, and I thought I'd just bring you into the grow room. You'll hear some background noise, but that's Keith. He's up ladders, so I get nervous when he's up ladders because he won't let me stand at the bottom, and he's up painting the bedroom windows and sanding them down. But I think he's finished sanding now, so we should be all right with that noise. So now I've watered all my mounts today, and I just thought I'd bring you and just show you one or two. And you see, it's what now, just after 12 o'clock, so I try and get my mounted ones watered, and I'm still watering and feeding. I think this batch was maybe about 150 ppm. You notice there I've got a new root forming, which is good because if you remember that end, because I put this extension on, I chopped the end off, didn't I? So I'm going to try and just oh dear, he started with the sanding again. Now I hope that doesn't retract. He won't be doing it for long. This is the Dendrobium tetragonum, or tetragonum, and this one I used to have it laid down, but now I've hooked it so it hangs actually up, and again, oh, unfortunately, now that was a little green root. It had a green tip, but I must have caught that. And but you see, we've got them here, which are fixing to the mount, and these are aerials. So this is doing very well. And in actual fact, I can just hang here one or two of them while I'm just talking. And this one is my species Tolumnia, which is scandens, and this one, you see how it grows, and this is only very lightly watered. I just sprinkle it because any force with the sprayer, and any force at all will actually break all these. So I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. There we go. Can you see? That's a nice one. That just sits on the shelf, so I have to be careful where I place that. Otherwise it falls over, and I don't want it to break. Now this one here, are you alright? Can you see with the light? Try and show you with the, there we go. And this one is doing very well. This is Cattleya, there we are, Simcoriana by Alawi. And this came, it actually broke into three. Two have managed to grow on, one died, but you see it's giving me new roots, and this root's attached, and that's doing very well. That's doing very well. And this is the other part, and you see that's got that nice root going up there, another root underneath, and that was the new growth it came with, and it sent out another new growth. Now this leaf hasn't opened yet, but I don't think of any need to worry about that. So both those are enjoying the mounts. So I can hook that there, and I can hook that there. Excuse my arms. The little Tolumnias, that's Jarrac Flyer Red Corona. Can you see? There we go. They're doing very well. I don't think I've got any problem with them. So I'll hang that there. Oh dear, can't hang it. The nails just come out. I'll have to refix that one. And this is one, but actually this one here, I've just had to cut a leaf out this morning, the middle leaf. I don't know what had caused that. Here, you see there. But this is, oh, that's another one. It's the same plant I've just shown you. So it must have come in, there must have been two. And I've managed to put one on this cork mount and the other on that little piece of bark. And this one, this has some floppy leaves, so I just clipped them together. But it's got new roots coming, so I'm quite chuffed with that one. And where can I hang this one? Put that one there. And I'll show you this one, although it's not on the table. And this is the Mediocalcar decoratum. That's on live moss, and it's given me that new extension, and it's given me this new extension. So I'm really pleased with that one. And this is the one, this is the Dendrobium Williamsii. This is the one that's in meltdown. But it's not, I've even watered that. There's one root there, albeit maybe not a live root, but there's something there, and it's not dropped that final leaf. So I'm hopeful, only hopeful. I mean, it's a long way to recover that. And this one is the Phalaenopsis Parisiae. And this one's doing quite well. It's got a new root there. And where else have I seen a new root? Maybe, oh, there. Is that a root? Just bear with me a minute. I think that is definitely a root and not a flowering fluorescence starting. But anyway, this is on this wooden mount, and I have to be careful when I water this, because if you'll notice that these leaves here, the centres, although there's a new leaf there, I don't know whether you can see that, a new little tiny leaf there in the centre, but I have to be very careful. I don't overwater this, but it seems to like it on that mount, and I'm cautious with the amount of actual water that I do spray on that one, and that can just hang there. Now this one is Dendrobium Geocandi. Now this is one that came, now when did it arrive? Have I put a date? 14th of January this year. And as with some dendrobiums, they hate to be disturbed, and this is one of these little brown furry ones. But this week it was on a mount, and to all intents and purposes I had no intention of moving it off the mount, but I don't know what made me think. I thought, I'm going to check these roots, it's been on here long enough, and I need to see whether they've actually attached to the mount. And you know, not one of the roots is attached. So I promptly removed it, and so we've got this main root here, and we've got some roots there, we've got a new growth there, and we've got this, we've had this new growth here. Oh, and we've got another new growth just tucked in there. So that piece of cork bark, which had got some live sphagnum moss on, I've attached it in two places with this green wire, and I've put no sphagnum moss, so this is bare rooted now, and it's so important to have your mounts, your orchid, secure on whatever mount you're putting them on. And the reason being, unless they're secure, I don't know how they know, but they won't grow properly for you. And an example of that is, let me just show you here now, is this one here. Now, this is my Laelia rubenscens, and I recently, maybe in the last 6 weeks, changed this mount, and since then I removed all the sphagnum moss. I've put it in on a larger piece of wood. We've got this new growth here with a little sheath in there, and we've got that new growth there, which is also, can you see, which is also got a sheath. You'll see there. But look at the roots now. So this is just tied with this wire. There's a little bit of give, don't get me wrong, because if you didn't have any give, then you'd completely strangle the plant. So there's a little bit of give. And look at can you see the amount? Look at all the side branching here. And you see, you think, oh well, it's not secure enough, but it actually is. That's not moving. And look at the side branching here. Can you see all that side branching there? Can you see with the light? I don't know whether you're catching the light here, but that shows to me now that that particular orchid is just absolutely loving its mount. And if I take you to this side also, I have to turn you upside down here. And there, can you see down there, the roots? The roots coming out there. See, these are the older roots, which I've left on, just to help it to adjust. And there. So there's enough room, I've left enough room at the back of it here to enable that Laelia now to send out some new growths and be quite settled. And this one stays in the window. So I'm just going to put that back there now, and I'll bring you another one up, and that's this one. And I've recently done this. This was the mount. This was the piece of wood, the piece of elder that the Scaphoglatis was on. So what I've done with this, you'll see, is little Zorro. And can you see? It's quite a large piece of wood, but I've just positioned it here so the roots can go either side. There's a little bit of fishing line there, but it's not tight. I just want that one to go down there and anchor itself. Can you see there? I just want it to go down, so I'm teasing it into that area. And if you look round here, I've got another one, you see. Can you see that other one there? There. This one, I didn't lose the eye. Sometimes they just stall for a while. So that one's stalled and that one's stalled. But I think I can see a little tiny bit of green coming back. And you'll see it's wired on. And I think that's going to be fine. It hangs now that way, and it's got a new leaf coming there. So it hangs that way. You'll see with the sun. But it's just got to orientate that leaf back up rather than it being face down. So again, you see, it's on that wire and it's nice and secure and it's not going anywhere. It's fixed to that, as far as it's aware, it's fixed to this branch, and that now will have no trouble at all. Right, so I'm going to just hang that one back there, and then if I put this one over here for you. How are we for time? I don't know that I can see my time. And I'm going to just lift this up now. There we go. And let's just have a look. This is the other Phalaenopsis. Now this is a little bit more moist, this sphagnum moss. But that root's touching it now, and that's fine. And this is Caribbean Sunset. This is like a miniature Phalaenopsis, and we go under there. We've got a new root under there, and this inflorescence, although it's not not actually progressing any, I've not cut it off because it's still green. And you probably won't see there. Let me see if I can. There's that new leaf, can you see there? But down in there, there's another new leaf starting. Now this one here is the Vanda Ascocentrum ampullacea, and I'm waiting for this one. It's only got that one root, but it's been on this mound now for quite a while. I keep cutting that end, but it still won't branch. So we just have to wait with that one. That's one of those that might not do anything until next year. This one here is the cascading one. I like this one, and I put this on this cork mount because I'm hoping I'm going to encourage that root to continue. And I've got this big root here, and this is the Holcoglossum subdiflorum. There, see how it cascades forward. And this one did have scale earlier in the year, but I've got another nice growing needle. I call these needles, and that actually does hang over here. They all have their own little spot, and there's the new one, Holcoglossum wangii, or wangi, and again I've got that root there, and this one's doing very nicely. Can't ask any more of it. It has actually grown, so I'm quite chuffed with that one, and that because it's in this hollow. It sits on one of the posts, so I'm just going to place that there. And this is the Dendrobium lamellatum. Okay, sat it again, I do apologise. And I put this on this nice piece of cork bark. Just bear with me a minute. Right, we're back again. Keith was sanding down. So this is the Dendrobium lamellatum. And we've got a new growth coming there. And this was another one that I couldn't seem to keep it hydrated. So I've put it on this little cork mount, and actually it seems to be a lot better. And it's got roots through there. So don't be afraid to actually change your mount if it's required. Sometimes they don't settle down. Now this one is another one that I've had to struggle with, and this is the Cattleya cernua. And this lost all its roots and went down to nothing. We've still got a lot of wrinkling in the leaves, but we've got a new growth there. and we've got that new growth just tucked under there. There we go. So again, that's now on the road to recovery. Now this is my Dendrobium lodogesi, and this is on a piece of cork bark, and I'm hoping, I mean I've had this, how long have I had this? Since 2016 I think. 3 years, yes, I've had it 3 years. And look, it's only grown that much in 3 years. Well, I've had to save it, I don't know how many times. But I'm hoping it might actually survive. I see others, and they actually grow off the mounts and get shared and everything, but this one I'm still struggling with. But never mind. And this is the Dendrobium primulinum, and this is I've got the other one on the bigger mount, so this is doing very nice. It's not got its terminal leaf yet, and it's got that growing root there with a little green tip, so that seems to be fine. And again, now this is another little Talumnia, and this is Yarak Firm Brown Bush, and it's giving me that new growth there, and that new growth there. I don't know what else I can say about these except that they've been slow to adjust, but at last. Now this one here, this one looks really, doesn't it? Look at that. Look at the leaf. And that one. And that one's not much better. But we've got a new growth, and this is the named one. This is Malworth Glade, and this is an M.E.s. I think it's HCC. But see, never give up. It's on this little bit of cork mount, and hopefully, now this one is the only Dendrobium phalaenopsis that has managed to survive. Can you see? This was a cane which I've not detached, because it might just serve as a reservoir, but it's growing. That new growth is growing there, and I think this is a sunny cocktail. There we go. Can you see? And then this one here, I'll put it there for you, is the Staphyglottis. That was the one that I've recently put on this piece of Eddie's mount, and this one gets sprayed. I'm trying to see whether or not that actual other little flower developed into anything, but I'm not sure whether it actually did, because it's you can't see them, and with them being so small. And then the other bit of good news is, I'll show you this one. I just manoeuvre that back on the shelf behind me. This is the here we go. This is the Masdevallius long yellow striped, and it's got a big number behind it. And this, if you remember this one, it came in. It broke into 4, didn't it? And we've had one that flowered. And look at this today. Can you see? Look. I was thrilled to bits. I thought, oh well, that's another one now that's flowering. But you see, look in there, you see. You know, you might think, oh gosh, that's dry. They're meant to stay wet, these. No, I don't believe they're meant to stay completely wet. I mean, there's wet and there's darn wet. So mine dry out. I have mine dry out first and then I water them. See, that's still got that green root there. So these can stay up here. Look at the dust. It's not until you get the sunlight on them and you think, oh dear. But these can stay up here now because I do believe that these aren't oh dear. Sorry about that. I thought I'd run out of time, but I'm fine. I was completely panic stricken then. There you are. A nice growing tip. Because I've just turned around. What I wanted to show you when I was panicking, thinking, oh gosh, I've lost you all, is this one here. And this is the Thunia bensonii, and you wouldn't think for 1 minute, would you? Let me just move that back there and put that in its little safe place. But you wouldn't think that was an orchid, but it is, and they're so soft, these leaves, beautiful leaves, and it has been watered. And this probably now will last it at least a fortnight. And it's still got those little nubbins down there, which I've no idea what they mean. But yeah, this is a little bit like the Fayus Tankenvillia. It likes to be moist and it doesn't like to be wet. So although it's in sphagnum moss, that, as I say, won't get watered now for about another fortnight. And I think that's going to be all for this moment in time. I don't think there's anything else. Oh yes, there's just one. Now whether or not I'll get it in time, because I've only got 1 minute left, is let me just show you. This is another one that I've just mounted. And that's Dendrobium Dawn Marie by Runcamo, and this was the mount that the let's have a look, Rincoast Iris Gigantica Peach was on, and you'll notice that is wired on with this, and there's one root there. There's one root there and there's another root under there, and I thought, what am I going to do with this beautiful, this is a hairy caned one, what am I going to do with this nice big dendrobium? And I thought, well, here goes, I'm going to mount it, and it's got plenty of room to grow. That's its new growth, and I'm going to finish my video now because Keith's at this bedroom window and I can hear him. So from me to you, take care. Bye bye now.